Hi, it's Dorothy guiding with Scrapbooking Quebec. In this video, I'm participating in Janet Fritz's monthly YouTube collaboration, Stretch the Sketch. In this series, we start with a 12 by 12 sketch and then we alter it. We either shrink it or we stretch it. You will find links to all the other participants below, so be sure to check out what they do with February sketch. And here it is. Now, I'm not sure who the creator for this one is because I don't see a signature. However, if I find it, I will write it in the description box below. My plan is to take this sketch and stretch it into this, a 5-photo double page spread. So I will talk you through this process. And you're about to see the material I'll be using. Here it is. It's from the December Hip Kit Club's Big Chill collection. That was an exclusive collection from December 2021. This one's going to be easy to stretch, so let's get started. Here's what's on my desk. So again, I have the paper that I just showed you a minute ago. My plan is to use this white dotted paper, which is part of the collection, as my foundation page. However, I end up having to switch that up at the end because I end up making a mistake with that. I also threw in some vellum. That's from Stampin' Up. I don't end up using it. I've been using that quite a bit this month with my wintry pages. You can see here that I matted my photo. So I used that blue paper, again, part of this Big Chill collection from the Hip Kit Club. I do have a tray handy with my embellishing, so most of it is from that collection, the Big Chill collection, but I did throw in some other stuff like enamel dots and things like that. Here's the sketch. So before getting started, let's have a look. You can see there are 2 jumbo circles there. Well, my plan's going to be easy. I am going to make a 24 by 12 canvas, take a jumbo circle, use it on either end, the far right and the far left of the 24 by 12 canvas, and kind of build my layup in between. It's actually very easy, and it's a design I feel like I've used many times before. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut out a jumbo circle. I'm using the custom cutting system from Creative Memories, and I'm cutting out a nice big circle in this beautiful paper. And what I'm going to do is just cut it down, kind of unequal. Mine's going to be like 2/3, 1/3. You can see on the sketch it's much bigger, the circles. I mentioned earlier, or maybe I didn't, but I'm really not that much in the mood for circles, so I'm going to go kind of minimal with these circles, but I am using them. I find the circles kind of blend into my background paper, so I am going to place something behind them. And I could always cut a shadow out, but I am not in the mood for circles. So for me, straight lines are easier to work with. So I'm just going to make myself a nice straight border. That's why it's going to go quick for me. I am hesitating to put the blue or the peach behind. I end up going with the blue, and then I will cut myself a very narrow strip of that peach paper just to add a little contrast to the edge of that large blue border that I'm cutting right now. I will put measurements on the screen a little bit later on for what I'm doing, but the pieces I'm cutting, most of them are real size except that peach strip of paper. I'm cutting mine a little bit bigger. I'm cutting mine down at about 1 inch, but the measurement that will be on the screen, I can't tell you what it's going to be right now, but I'm guessing it's about 3/8 to 1/2 inch. I'm not quite sure. So anyway, the measurement on the screen will be for the visible page parts only. You can see how I plan to set up this page. You may also notice that the circles, the large one on the left kind of bumps up towards the top. I'm going to have to trim that off. And on the right hand side, it's the opposite. The circle bumps towards the bottom. I mentioned earlier that I've done this page design before. Well, when I've done it, they've been kind of central. So that part is a bit different for me. You may have noticed as well, I did ink all the edges of the paper, not heavily, just a little bit to unify all of the pieces. So now what I'm doing is adhering the borders together. So you can see there how I'm overlapping the blue on top of the peach paper. And then what I will do is adhere that semicircle, again, kind of bumped up towards the top, and then what I'll do is trim it off. You can see Chester's here trying to help me adhere. He likes to stand on the things before they're straight just to, get me all mixed up. Now I'm doing the right hand border. Now this one eventually gets cut down a bit in the sense that it becomes more narrow. At this point, I'm just using the size that I had cut originally, but I do want to place my photos, and I am aware that that one is a bit too big at this point. The big one, I don't mind overlapping the photo, but on the right-hand side, I want the photos to land on the white paper. So I placed my photos, got an idea of how much room it was going to take, and then I trimmed down the border for the right-hand page. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to adhere, of course, the right border now that I know that it is the right size. And the next thing I'm going to do is start working or thinking about placement of my title and my journaling box. And I am more or less going to follow the sketch here. You can see on the sketch on the bottom left there is a journaling box, and on the right at the top is the title. Now for a journaling box, I am going to be using this planner page that I cut out with a die from Elizabeth Craft Designs. I use it all the time. It's just a planner page, and I'm going to kind of layer it up, and the part underneath, at this point, that's where I think I'm going to be doing my journaling. For the title, it's quite big. These letters are big, and my title is going to be My Winter Walk. So it's too big to go straight across like on the sketch. So I have it on wax paper. I cut it up a bit, and I'm happy with the placement now. It's basically kind of lined up along that border on the right, which really kind of strengthens that border on the right. So I am sort of taking my own liberties here. Obviously, I put that border underneath the circles. Now I'm changing up the title a bit. It's looking a little bit more me. So you can see I have all of my embellishing around me, a bunch of ephemera pieces from this big chill collection. I've got chipboard, it's hidden underneath a sketch up there in the corner. I've got some metallic pearls and enamel dots, but everything's kind of small, and I'm planning to make 2 main embellishment clusters and then a hint of a third one for a visual triangle. So what you see me doing right now is cutting out a scalloped circle with a circular punch from Creative Memories. I don't know the exact name. I got it free with purchase at one point, but I absolutely love this. Basically, you start with a 6-inch square, you punch all 4 corners, then you flip it around because 4 more corners appear. You punch those, and out pops this beautiful 6-inch scalloped circle. So I punched out another one off camera, and I'm going to place those in 2 areas on my page, the bottom right and top left, and those are going to serve as foundation layers for the 2 main embellishment clusters. Like I mentioned earlier, when I have a lot of smaller pieces, which is what I find I have here with the embellishments in this collection, I sometimes like bigger pieces to start my embellishment cluster. So I'm using that. The paper I use is like this peach snowflake paper from the collection. I'm happy with that. And now you see me working on the cluster. So essentially I started at the bottom right there with the biggest pieces from the ephemera pieces. So I have a couple trees, this cute little fox. Then I added a few trees, kind of a repetition of that in the top right. And then I'm coming in with the bigger snowflakes, then smaller snowflakes. So that I do end up adding to those embellishment clusters, but essentially that is the main part of my embellishment clusters. And I do feel at this point in the process, I have way too many loose stuff on my desk. I don't have my photos adhered, my titles not appeared, the journaling box, or the embellishing. So I'm going to move ahead, adhere what I have decided upon, and then I will come in with finishing touches. I will be able to see clearer for adding the finishing touches. Now, some of these embellishments I am popping up on foam adhesive, and what I would like to say about this collection, they are very pale and pastel. They are super pretty, but I find they're kind of blending into the paper. So more than anything, I do find that adding foam adhesive in this case is really important. So over there on the right, a few of the smaller snowflakes are popped up on foam adhesive. I ended up popping up that fox on foam adhesive. I adhered the title, and then I stopped the film and continued doing that, and now I'm working on the left-hand page. I ended up kind of moving the photo on the left-hand page, the 2 that are over on the far left, because I wanted more room to journal. The more I thought about this story, the more I had to write. So I needed to expose that journaling box a little bit more to accommodate my story. So you can kind of see it's not the way I had originally placed it, but that was my thought process. I just knew I had more to write. So I've adhered the journaling box, the photos. Now I'm working once again on that cluster in the top left. I did pop up a few things on foam adhesive, including that little word thing there. It's very, very pale, but it says Winter Adventures, and again, a few snowflakes. And you can also see I stopped the film and adhered 2022, a repetition of that other title over in that photo on the far left. Now I'm coming in with some finishing touches. So I did add a little tab, even though there was already a tab on that planner page. I added one from the ephemera pack because it was cute. I end up adding metallic dots to the middle of each one of those snowflakes. I thought of using metallic pearls. They were very blingy, but I would have had to adhere them myself, and I'm just kind of in a lazy mood. And I did add one piece of ephemera with a snowflake and a little enamel dot up by the title, just to create a hint of a visual triangle. So that is it. It came together very, very quickly. All I did off camera was I did my journaling, of course, and I did add a few pieces of chipboard. You can see that little heart on that box there down in the bottom right, and up in the top left, I tucked in a little chipboard snowflake behind the word winter. Now you may also notice that my background paper has changed. It's no longer that white dot paper, it is white cardstock. That's because after I stopped filming, I got the idea to add some faux stitching at the top of the title and underneath the title. And I did it in black ink, and I absolutely hated it. If you looked at the sketch, there was some stitching there. So I felt like I had to add some, but I really didn't like it. I thought of keeping it, but you know what? I just didn't like it. It was easy. I was able to lift everything, even those alpha letters I was able to lift. They came off very well, and I just replaced it with white cardstock. And I would like to point out, I did not throw away what I scrapped. Basically, one I was able to completely recuperate. I'll be able to use the flip side of it, not the side that had adhesive on top. And the other one was a bit more banged up, so it went in my scrap cardstock bin, which is where I keep scrap cardstock, and I use that to often back ephemera pieces that I want to pop up on foam adhesive and stuff like that. So I didn't throw anything away. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would be absolutely thrilled if you did. And if you are a subscriber, thank you very, very much. Don't forget to check out the other participants. Their links are in the description box below. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon on YouTube. Bye-bye.